Okay, hello, welcome back to another video. Today playing e4 and trying to play some, exciting, sacrificial, tactical, open chess. Trying to channel my inner Paul Morphy here, and what better way to do that than with a Caro Khan? Actually, I was going to play fantasy Caro Khan with f3 and hope for takes. There's some very exciting positions there with the open f-file, knight f3, bishop c4, and castles can provide a very interesting game. However, I'm going to play my new preparation, bishop d3. I recently made a video on this, bishop d3 against the Caro, and after takes here, knight c3, willfully giving up the bishop pair, such that after bishop f5, which my opponent plays, knight g3 and bishop g6 here, I can play knight 1 to e2, and this is all preparation that I've done, to angle for knight f4. So my opponent plays h6, okay. Now knight f4, there's bishop h7. Yes, I mean, undeniably that is true. I could still play it though, because it does kind of bring my knight into the game. It does bring my knight into the game quite nicely. So I'm going to go for it. After the bishop drops back, castling looks very appealing, honestly. Just castling super quick, because this bishop now isn't going to be, too much of a sniper to my king. I mean, it's locked away. Yes, it's putting pressure on the c2 square, but I mean, what if I just play c3? So I feel like, we got a lot of nice chances in this position. Rook e1 here especially, and already there's some like crazy thoughts about sacrificing a knight here. What about if I just do it? Do you know what I mean? Why not? I'm so tempted to just do it. Knight takes, pawn takes, rook takes with check. Calculation's overrated. Let's just take this. Sacrifice, a demolition sacrifice, if you will. Taking on here, and obviously queen blocks is a blunder. Bishop blocks looks kind of dubious, honestly. I don't know, maybe it's fine though. But I can go queen e2, right? Queen e2. Oh my days, I could play queen h5 check. Induce the push of this pawn almost necessarily, and then... Okay, this looks fun. Queen h5 check. Having drawn the pawn off here, my opponent is now going to either have to move the king or play g6, to which then we can take on h6, but I kind of prefer going across to e5, putting a lot of pressure here and threatening the rook and allowing bishop takes h6 to be a threat. So g6, queen e5 I think is going to be my move. This looks extremely exciting. Move 14. My opponent might just play king d7. There we go, king d7. Wow. They go for it. Okay, probably the best move. This is maybe still a move. I mean, I think I'm getting some justifiable compensation for what I've done here. Okay. Ooh, is queen e5 actually a good move now? I don't know. It doesn't come with tempo on the rook this time. So maybe I want to consider this a bit more. Actually, is knight f5 somehow a move? If you take and I take, then I'm threatening a discovery, a discovered check. I feel like that's a good idea. Even if rook f8, might be rook f6. The obvious problem with knight f5 is if king takes rook, but I was just thinking that surely somehow there's I don't know, like knight g7, and the queen comes across. Yeah, it's probably not the greatest idea. Let's just stick with queen e5, putting pressure on g7 across this rank here where there's a bishop, and obviously pressure on the rook. Also, the most obvious pressure we're mounting here is on that e7 square. And if I just play bishop f4, first of all, that's just a super powerful move anyway, coupling up with the queen to attack some very important squares. Maybe even after bishop f4, there's a sacrifice, rook takes, queen takes, and then queen here check. I don't know, king goes back. There's definitely a lot of promise in this position, because what I was going to say is after bishop f4, rook e1, not rook d1, rook e1, forming Aliekin's gun on the e-file. Looks extremely exciting. But yeah, we've got, I mean, knight f5 does feel like a good move. But bishop f4 first. Okay, bishop f4 now. I'm liking it. I'm liking bishop f4 quite a lot. I think we do need to bring this rook here. If this bishop moves, oh geez, I mean, there's a lot to calculate here. The good thing is that this rook can't move until this knight moves, and I was about to say this knight can only go to a1. I mean, rookie. Do I play rook e1 or knight f5? That's the question now. Rook e1 or knight f5? Okay, okay, knight f5, bishop takes, queen takes. Then there's some discovered check that surely isn't good to allow, but actually you can't get out of it because my queen and my bishop are here and your pieces are all here. So knight f5, bishop takes, queen takes, rook f8. The only discovery that then doesn't lose the queen is... Oh my god, there's like a double check here. I mean, knight f5. I'm going to do it. We're just going to throw all the pieces in. What is this game? And I mean, rook e1 to follow if they don't decide to take here. Actually, maybe knight takes g7, threatening the rook, and if the rook moves, then this gets destabilized. I mean, what is this position? As long as black defends, then they're going to win. Because obviously we sacked that knight initially off some vague demolition instinct. However, I think it's exceedingly hard for black to defend here. I mean, just look at this. If knight takes e6 all the way back here, where was it? There we go. If after rook e1, bishop d6, if knight takes e6 was actually the best move, I'll be very, very happy. Pawn takes, rook takes. The thing is, they could have gone king d7 straight away, which maybe is a bit more resilient now that we've sort of seen they've had to play king d7 anyway, because then I can't get queen h5 with tempo, and my queen can't become so immediately involved. But my opponent has made a move. Jesus. Wait. There's no way I'm not mating here. Look at the amount of pieces I have. Okay, so bishop's gone here. Now, Jesus, how many checks do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, but that's obviously a blunder. I'm thinking, okay, queen d6 check, forcing the king to c8 here. But if I'm being honest, I'm not seeing anything from there. Rook check, however. Let's go rook check. It has to be rook check. If this goes back to here, I take the queen with check. Oh, this is sweet, right? Take the queen with check. And now we're winning. If the king had gone here, oh Lord, I don't know, but that could be a blunder, and it could be perhaps the blunder we needed. I mean, just trusting that this is just so hard to hold for my opponent. But if rook takes, this is still not finished. There is a knight here that defends mate on here. There is a rook that is restricting my queen immensely, and there is a knight that is hanging should my queen go too far away. So the king takes, but now I can go check. Now I step out the way with check. Is there anything else to consider? I don't really think so. Let's just step out the way with check. You have to move across to here now. Now this knight is hanging. I could probably just come back. And that is honestly what I think I may do. What I think I probably have to do. Unless there's something funny where I just play d5. You take my knight, I take here. No, okay, let's just calm down. Let's bring the knight back. and we're good. I mean, we're winning. We have a queen and 2 pawns for a bishop and a rook. This rook is also not activating at all. This knight is frozen to the spot, guarding the c7 square. Yes, there's a bishop pair here, but I mean, what's it pointing at? Not my king, and it's not really coupling up with anything else to do any damage. And so I think the safer option there, just coming back and just having a better position. I mean, there's even the argument to play a move like b4, maybe. I don't know. The rook comes across though, to which we can go check and force the rook here, which I'm gonna do, honestly. And then, should I just do this? This is quite funny. I mean, this rook can't move. I really like this move. I don't know why. It looks like the exact kind of move I want to be making. Just trying to break stuff open around the king. You know, going here. And if pawn takes, I could maybe play knight takes. If pawn doesn't take, I can take the pawn. After pawn takes here, this check. If you block, then I can probably take. And also there's this rook. And I mean, it's again, demolition. That is the key word for this game. Throwing a piece into the black position to just blow everything up. Tear everything apart. And yeah, look, I mean, the king moves. What is that? Now I can take here, hit the rook. Rook probably comes across to hit my queen. Honestly, don't particularly care though, because I'll go check. You can't block that because I'll just take the rook. King's gonna have to move again. It is not looking good at all. Okay, pawn takes. Queen takes here. We hit the rook, hit the knight. There's pressure on this rook as well. The queen is ideally placed. The bishop is unforgiving here. And yeah, I mean, great bishop pair you got there. Really scaring my pawns. We pick this rook up for free. We probably see resignation here. Or not. Fair enough. Absolutely fair play. You got to respect a man for playing on. I can hit this though. Should we just kick this? I feel like it's the right decision. Actually, yeah, there we go. Okay, resignation. And what a game. Let's look at the analysis. Okay, here we are in the analysis. Let's go through the game. So e4, c6, a Caro-Kann, which apparently Stockfish is just hating on the Caro-Kann right now. Inaccuracy. But of course, it's book theory. d4, d5, and then bishop d3, my new prep against the Caro-Kann. Takes. And if you've watched my video on this, I cover this line completely. Knight here, knight c3, takes, bishop f5, knight g3, bishop g6, and knight 1 to e2 there. The pawn gets pushed, which is a little inaccurate, and after knight to f4, the bishop goes back to h7, and Stockfish gives me a slight advantage here, despite not having the bishop pair. I mean, it's just a really active and open position, and I get to castle super quickly. Black's play isn't that smooth. I mean, the knight can't develop to its natural square, this bishop can't move yet, the king is very much stuck in the center, and this bishop is kind of stuck back here, not really looking at anything. I mean, yes, it's a very strong piece, but as long as I don't go and castle this way like a moron, I'll be fine. So after I castle here, e6, rook e1, bishop d6, there's no way. Thank you very much. I will take my last second, Stockfish switches it up and says that d5 is slightly better. However, knight takes e6, which actually the eval increases, so best move there. And after takes, rook takes, just recognizing that breaking this all open is super strong. The most resilient defense was actually king f7, who'd have thought. But after the bishop goes back, that is awful because queen h5. Wait, I'm just winning here. The king goes here, so I've played this perfectly up until now. And then it wanted queen g4, and it really doesn't like my move queen e5, because I guess rook f8. Okay. That makes sense. I guess queen g4, and we were just threatening a discovery. That's okay. Yeah, actually, I was thinking about, you know, trying to play knight f5, which was kind of, wait, that's just to have a little look. Knight f5, honestly, not even that bad. If king takes here, we go check, and this is somehow a draw. Okay, we're not even going to go into that, but it wanted queen g4. I gave away quite a bit of advantage, but was still very much winning after queen e5. And then bishop f4, best move. Knight develops, and I should have taken here. Now I'm plus 10 on move 16. I came in with the knight. It still loves the position, plus 8. And after the bishop moves, rook check. The king going back there was the best move, because if king here, then, I mean, what are you on about? Check. And if this, then I can take the knight, and I'm threatening some discovery here, and the queen's hanging. It's all just over there. This is what I mean by demolition. I mean, when you play a demolition sacrifice, just breaking everything open, there's often just a billion ways to win, because it's not some tactical punch, some specific tactical punch. You're just opening up the position, opening up your opponent's king, and letting your pieces do the talking. Little Hans Niemann reference there. Anyway, we see the king go back. I take the queen. King takes, check, best move. King goes here. It wants knight takes here. Oh, of course, because if pawn takes, there's the bishop hangs. But I wasn't concerned with the pawn over here. I played knight back, and then after this check, up, d5, not hated by the engine at all. I mean, I said pretty much everything's winning, and after takes here, the rook was just hung, and my opponent resigned in this position. Rook e1 could have been played there. Hopefully I'd have found that given enough time, but yeah, completely dominating position. So that is an unreal game with a demolition tactic, as we see in my preparation against the Caro-Kann. I will link the other video in the description if you want to learn how to play this line. As you've seen, very, very sharp stuff. And in the specific line, which is quite intuitive, I mean, all Caro-Kann players are taught to play this. Instead of queen h5, which looks very exciting as well, actually, I might look into that, but rook e1, and if the move bishop to d6 is played, which Stockfish, as you saw, I'm not sure if you saw there, Stockfish was initially suggesting, before it got to the depth to see that, bang, this is just a move, and yeah, just break all that open, and yeah, crush your opponent by sacrificing a knight. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave some positive feedback in the comments. Let me know just how entertaining that was. It's very good for my ego. And yeah, if you're new, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.